Do you remember the welcome wagon? The warm casserole delivered to your doorstep? The firm, friendly handshake over a freshly painted white picket fence? That version of the neighborhood, the one immortalized in television shows and in our own hazy nostalgia, is dead. It wasn't a sudden, violent end. It was a slow, quiet poisoning, happening one closed door and one drawn curtain at a time. Today, the sound of an unexpected doorbell sends a jolt of anxiety, not excitement. We are more likely to learn our new neighbor's name from a misdelivered Amazon package than from the person themselves. So, what happened? What killed the American neighbor? The investigation reveals a handful of suspects, and the truth is far more disturbing than simply being too busy or too shy. It's a story about fear, exhaustion, and a society that is quietly, deliberately walling itself off. The first killer of the neighborhood wasn't a person. It was a ghost in the machine. Before you even have a chance to walk across your lawn, you can conduct a full digital reconnaissance mission on the new family next door. Apps like Nextdoor and local Facebook groups have become platforms for what can only be described as social surveillance. With a few clicks, you can discover your new neighbor's political leanings from their angry rants about the city council, learn about their financial troubles from their posts, selling old furniture, and witness their family drama play out in public comments. These digital communities offer a sanitized, cowardly version of neighborhood life. You get all of the information with none of the risk. A digital hello or a like on a post has become a low-effort, emotionally safe substitute for a real face-to-face interaction. Why risk an awkward conversation when you can just watch them from the safe, anonymous distance of your screen? The internet didn't just give us a new way to connect. It gave us a way to avoid connecting altogether. But the digital world didn't just give us an escape route. It amplified a fear that was already festering in the real world. The modern home is no longer just a place to live. It has become a fortress. In an age of constant online judgment, data breaches, and sensationalized 24/7 news cycles, our house is the last private sanctuary, a bunker where we can finally feel safe from a chaotic world. In this context, the doorbell is no longer a welcome sound. It's a security breach. An unscheduled visitor is immediately viewed with suspicion. Are they a salesperson, a missionary, or worse? This fortress mentality is fueled by a profound collapse of social trust. We've been conditioned by a steady diet of true crime documentaries and Fear Thy Neighbor TV shows to see strangers not as potential friends, but as potential threats. A friendly knock could be the prelude to a home invasion, or at the very least, an unwelcome intrusion into our carefully guarded peace. The desire for privacy has morphed into a low-grade paranoia, and the safest course of action is to simply keep the door locked. This fortress mentality is built on fear, but it's reinforced by a modern affliction that leaves us with absolutely nothing left to give: the burnout epidemic. The relentless pace of modern life has become a social poison. We are living in an exhaustion economy. Between dual-income households, soul-crushing commutes, the second shift of childcare and housework, and the pressure to maintain a side hustle, our social and emotional batteries are drained to zero by the end of the day. Introducing yourself to a new neighbor, which once might have been a pleasant diversion, now feels like another exhausting task on an endless to-do list. It is emotional labor that we simply do not have the bandwidth for. We retreat into our homes, not because we're unfriendly, but because we are utterly depleted. Socializing has become a chore, not a pleasure, and the thought of engaging in small talk with a stranger feels less like an opportunity and more like a demand on our last remaining energy reserves. And even if we did have the energy, why should we bother? Why invest time and emotion in someone who will probably be gone in a year or two? This brings us to the next killer of the neighborhood, the transient curse. Fewer and fewer people are putting down roots. The rise of renting and a job market that demands geographic flexibility means that for many, a neighborhood is no longer a permanent community. It's a glorified waiting room. It's a temporary stop on the way to somewhere else. This transient mindset fundamentally changes the social calculus. Why bother learning the names of the people next door when they, or you, will be replaced by another set of strangers next year? It's the social equivalent of renting furniture. You use it, but you don't form an attachment to it because you know it's not really yours. This constant churn fosters an atmosphere of profound detachment, making the effort of building a real relationship seem pointless. This feeling of detachment is bad enough on its own, but it's nothing compared to the new, invisible minefield that now separates every single front door in America: extreme political polarization. Our front yards have become ideological battlegrounds. A flag, a lawn sign, or a bumper sticker can instantly signal your tribal allegiance and label you as a friend or foe before a single word is ever exchanged. A simple knock on the door is no longer just a social gesture. It's a high-stakes gamble. Will you be met with a friendly face, or will you be ambushed into an unwanted, hostile debate about politics? The fear of discovering that you live next door to one of them, someone from the other side of the political chasm, is now a major driver of social avoidance. People are actively choosing to not introduce themselves because the risk of starting a conflict is simply too high. It's easier to live in ignorant silence than to confirm you're living next to the enemy. Faced with all these dangers, the fear of intrusion, the crushing exhaustion, the risk of conflict, we've developed a new unspoken set of rules to survive living in close proximity to one another. The definition of neighborly has been radically rewritten. It's no longer about friendship or community, it's about mutual non-aggression. Being a good neighbor today means keeping your music down, bringing in their trash cans if they forget, and giving a brief non-committal nod if you happen to cross paths. But let's be clear about what this is. This is not a new form of community. This is a Cold War treaty. These are small, passive gestures designed to maintain distance and avoid conflict, not to build a genuine connection. It's a fragile peace built on a simple, unspoken principle. You stay on your side of the fence, and I'll stay on mine, and we can pretend the other doesn't exist. So, what have we done? We've successfully engineered a life free from the perceived risks of our neighbors. We have digital ghosts to spy for us, fortresses to hide in, and a Cold War treaty to keep the peace. But in our quest to protect ourselves, we have paid a terrible, silent price. This trend is a symptom of a much larger, more frightening social disease, the loneliness epidemic. We have built higher fences, installed faster Wi-Fi, and bought more secure doorbells, all in the name of safety and privacy. But in our frantic effort to build the perfect private fortress, we may have accidentally created the loneliest prison in the world.